And we are already into the game. We are starting the first round to qualify for tomorrow. It's Valdemar and House Horse versus Isanch and Chrysor.
Scenes.
Good call. And I was trying to switch the thing at the top, and it's not working. Isn't it Alt-Shift-F?
It's a different one for the improved observer.
Son of a bitch!
Yeah, I know.
Oh, there's a button for it. We're good. Ha! All right. I'm a pro. Isanch and Chrysor in the bottom side. We talked about the civs kind of for a second in loading stream, but didn't dive into what we expect here. So Molly, we know what to expect from them. It's gonna be mass warrior scouts. The Abbasid, it really could be a couple different options, but it's the smartest in my eyes for Eco Wing. It's the safest, it's the best, it's the most well-rounded, especially over the course of a longer game or even mid-game because of the Fertile Crescent upgrade now. Very effective.
The Fertile Crescent upgrade is totally broken.
Yeah, houses.
And, yeah, it's like
resource.
a stable, and you cannot really be contested too much. I mean, he's a super forward stone, and there's a Mongols in the game. But you will probably still get that second town center up without too much problem.
Speaking of the Mongols in the game, House Horse dropping down that barracks already, and I'm about to head back over to the Abbasid base because I think he has a lovely tower spot. But first, we're going to check in on Valdemar. He's doing the mill next to the TC China. It is his comfort pick. It is his comfort civ. So let's see what the game plan is for him. But this is the worry I have for Chrysor. Typically, you're like, against the Abbasid, you want to outpost the stone and not the gold. But the gold's always kind of nice to have just because it's like it delays them out a little bit. Well, he gets 2 for the price of 1 here. He's going to be able to get stone and gold and secondary gold. There are some back mines for him. That's still a lot of idle time, still a lot of travel time, and still delay. And the outpost will give, vision if he gets it up. The key is if he gets it up. Look at what Chrysor has done. If we're gonna switch over to Chrysor's point of view, he's circling around. He just knows. I think they just assume that the outpost rush is coming. You are Abbasid. You are playing against Mongols. You're also Mali. Your one big way to lose this game is not take a tower rush seriously, and both of them are prepping for it because they don't know which side it's going to come. And finally, the first scout has spotted out a couple of those spearmen, and it looks like House wants to go for the Mali pit mine, but is going to be met with a few Donzos.
Yeah, immediately turns around upon seeing that Donza.
Yeah, you're not able to do anything there.
I mean, the villagers are queued back home.
Yeah,
on top of the sheep right now.
Yeah, you can't do anything.
And the spears are moving over to the gold mine of Abbasid right now.
They are, but they are about to be met with some spears on the other side. Their actually numbers are dead even. It's 4-4. But if House doesn't create a few more spearmen from his Uvu, his gold could start being denied, as they saw how far out his gold was. And that is probably a key pressure point here, investing a little bit more into Dark Age than their opposition, that we already see Valdemar should be going up or finishing up his feudal age in the next little bit with just that one villager working, but it is working way harder being Chinese.
Yeah, he's completely uncontested right now. He's going for the academy first, one villager, and he's gonna hit Song like basically at the same time as he ages up because the Barbican is already going up at the gold.
Yeah, and so while this may seem like, House isn't in a good position, which he's not by any means, he's, starting to get pressured on by some spears, but he has enough spears to defend this outpost location for now, get his outpost up, secure his gold as well with it. And so this has just been allowing Valdemar to go untouched as China, have a clean early game. He's already got his Barbican being dropped as well. Gonna have a super quick Song Dynasty timing, probably around the time that the Mansa Quarry finishes for Isanch.
Do you see it? Trade Wing!
Oh my God.
Okay, we're gonna see some Trade Wing memes. Let's just put it out there. Trade Wing is a strong option. It's very vulnerable.
The market location, though, very good for Chrysor. And by that, I mean he still needs to send a Vil all the way out to the other corner, but he can just queue those first three up. And look at that, he's already ready. All he needs is that first trip, and that will be more than enough. But the big problem is I expect a mass, and I expect aggression from the other side.
Yeah, we see the deer stones being dropped by Housed Horse here, and you don't necessarily see that anymore these days, and it tells me he's gonna play massive feudal, and that's definitely the right choice against that trade ring.
Yeah, I mean, he could start some trade on the other side where both players are going to have trade. They're both going to have this like push and pull contesting each other game. Looks like those spears are queued up to try to burn down that barracks, but look at the scout. He scouts the Ubu, he scouts the barracks, but doesn't see the town center behind it. And, you know, a little bit unfortunate for him, as those spears won't be able to find any use, as the barracks should be able to just be pulled back at half tile, and there it is. Walls being dropped.
Such a safe base here.
And look at the timing here by Chrysor. Literally, Trade Wing is finishing up. He's already securing up the eastern side with walls, and by the time those traders get to the market, the neutral market, he should have a target market for himself dropped as well.
Yeah, it's coming up right now, and you can already queue the traders there. But yeah.
Oh, classic wolf in the trade line, always annoying, gonna continue to give you those pings if you don't deal with it, which you might not think like it's much, but pings all over the map is what creates problems with raiding later in the game. First Chukanu that was pushed up by Valdemar, met with some warrior scouts from the other side like we were talking about, like we expect, and you know, this is kind of one where military numbers are going to start clashing, going to start joining together in the middle. House has hit feudal. He's gotten the stables down already as well. And so purple and pink joining in together against that blue and green army. But the first three traders are making their trip across 181 a pop. That's enough for Castle Age. That's all he needs.
Yeah. That is absolutely massive. And if you look at the army numbers, however, right now Housed Horse has 12 spears on the field. There's already 12 Zuginus out. They're just crossing the map, and these pit mines are completely exposed in the middle. There's Barry still forward, and we already talked about that juicy spot with the double gold and the stone.
I feel like Chrysor wants to go up to Castle Age, and he's trying to just build archers as a defense and allow these traders to come back and vault himself to Castle. But seeing this mass, you can't take this lightly. You have to start pumping military numbers. Scouts starting to move forward. I think their best job right now would just be picking off reinforcing Chukanu.
Yeah. Oh yeah, have you paid attention? Do you know if they actually scouted that trade ring? Because I don't think so.
No, they had not. The base is still black.
Yeah, so they have no idea this is going on. Pit mines being burned, and yeah, Housed Horse is just living the best life, because he's gonna take all of these bounties here.
And this is exactly what I was mentioning. Pick off a couple reinforcing units. Look at what it causes Valdemar to do. Immediately has to pull back some of that mass. Had a villager moving forward with it as well. And now the units forward are going to be stuck by themselves, allowing for an opportunity for Chrysor and Isanch to potentially timing push this together.
Yeah, but there's just no mass. There's not enough archers here to contest this.
Not only that, Housed is also bringing a villager as well.
Okay, Zuginu is trying to get rid of the spears. Warrior Scouts moving in. Housed Horse pulling back the spears right here. And the Abbasid archers doing work right now, but yeah, the mass is still very much in the favor of Team 2.
Yeah. Reinforcing Chukanu, not quite there yet. A lot have been thinned out, but it just still seems like Valdemar and Housed have too much of a mass, and Chrysor and Isanch have not taken it seriously.
Yeah,
Outpost that was being built forward, denied and taken down. That was an immediate oh, the villager stays alive.
Villager stays alive with 1 HP. As you do, as you do. Chrysler needs to stop and abandon his castle plan here, because if he's not building military, they're gonna lose right there.
Yeah, he's just continuing to try to mass up archers. He's on triple range now. He's getting blacksmith upgrades as well, but I mean, double towers are going up in between the two teammates here. We're also seeing bounty just flowing into the hands of House Horse with the Mongols if he's going to be able to start burning down all of these houses, all of these pit mines. But first, wants to just make sure this outpost gets up.
Nice move by Isange, sniping the tower and getting rid of some more reinforcements streaming over here. But yeah, I think there's House Horse already massing up a few spears here, and now the reinforcements should be safe.
All of a sudden, though, there's 18 archers. The reinforcing Chukanu have been picked off, and Valdemar wasn't realizing the archers were starting to bleed some of the units on the other side. And mass number has been thinned out a little bit. The reinforcing Chukanus could still continuing to be thinning out, but these are just small steps in the comeback that Chrysler and Isange need.
Yeah, like that triple stable just constantly pumping out warrior scouts. Yeah, they're good, but they're not that good. By the way, he has pro scouts. Just gonna mention that.
That's the typical. Still getting some cows and whatnot. Archers step forward to see the outpost on the other side with arrow slits, but snipe down the Chinese villager that was building another, and a ram immediately dropped, gonna start trying to take down this outpost. Military numbers getting closer and closer to even, but at the same time, Houst and Valdemar, they're in the base.
Production is being burned right now, and he cannot let that happen, and he's being pushed off the wood as well. How much wood does he have right now? He does not have any wood. He needs to go to the back wood line now.
Not only does he have no wood, he has nowhere to go. He has no room inside of his TC. I thought the other side was just about to dive that. They didn't make the realization yet. Isange was taking down some more of those reinforcing units for Valdemar, but now he's grouped that Chukanu mass together, gonna try to clear that scout mass to allow the mass to run forward.
I mean, the mass still very much in favor of Valdemar and House Horse here, and yeah, those are Zugas, so they are basically the best unit in this game right now.
Archer's trying to kite back, but they have done such a good job of keeping the teammates split, keeping the armies split. They're battling as one against two separate units, two separate players.
Chrysler starting to send Isange some gold. I'm assuming we're gonna see a range, possibly? A range and then some javelin throwers against this massive Suginu, but I guess it's gonna be too little too late.
And there's another stables. I mean, it looks like, again,
also being queued. Okay, it's gonna be Sofas.
Both players on the side of Chrysler Isange almost have enough for castle. That means they need to be making more units.
Yeah, like one of them can go up to castle with this amount of resources, but if two of them are floating, that's just gonna be suicide.
Look at how much income is coming in from these traders. 181 and 45 though, and it wasn't just the 3 from the start. He decided to make a few more. So this graph isn't telling the full story, as those traders do so much for the Abbasid. And
yeah, it's brutal, but at the same time, look at Valdemar's production. He's producing Zuganu out of 4 archery ranges constantly.
And
5 archery ranges now.
Finally, we see the Rams coming down from House. They want to end this. They want to cut the throat of their opponents here. Second Ram being dropped as well. And they are about to just go for an all-in.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they can do it. I mean, there's 18 warrior scouts, 5 Sofas as a front line, but there's a lot more spears here. And then at the same time, we see the 56 Zuganu against just 48 archers.
Yeah, it is absolutely detrimental what is about to happen to Team GG over here. Archer starting to fall back, Horsemen pushing forward, Chukanu pushing forward, but they have a Spearman mass with them. It's the 1-1-1 against just 2 units, and that will allow them to take exactly the fight that they want to. Spear's going to surround the Chukanu just firing down on everything. No more reinforcing units going to be able to come in for Chrysler, and they should just lose their whole mass, lose more production behind this, and the game should be going with that.
Yeah, meanwhile, all of these rams doing so much damage, and the archers are kiting well. The front line of Housed Horse is basically gone because the spears are busy burning things. But yeah, the Zuginu are completely uncontested, and now they're in the villager line, and this game is super over.
Even
Military
worse, they're
wing coming up, by the way, but
Oh.
yeah, it's gonna take 1 minute and 50 seconds to finish.
This timing was absolutely awful to go for the castle. The Chukanu take down the whole entire woodline, take down the whole entire military mass. Look at the military numbers. It's 81 to 27. Eco still heavier for Valdemar and House behind this as well, as they are in the base of the opponent. And this game doesn't seem like it's going to go too much longer, especially if they spot out the trade and continue to push this further forward.
I mean, this game is super over. There's no way that Chrysler can hold this alone. He's dropping barracks here, but yeah, even Marsmen at Arms, they cannot be produced that fast to contest these 5 archery rangers pumping out Zuginu.
Yep, 2 Rams on the town center after they killed a ton more of the production, a few more houses. Isanch, he doesn't care about the houses. He's at 24 of 80 pop cap. He needs units. He needs anything he can. 22 economy. This is now taking a player fully out of this game.
Yeah, Isanch. Let's take a quick look. Wait, Isanch. He has 23 economy left and 2 military. Like, he's dead. Dead in the water. There's nothing he can do.
Chrysler's trying to do everything he can. The only way this could potentially work for him is if he can somehow get the same amount of damage to Housed Horse on the other side, or the economy of China that's sure to start to be spreading out and only still have, doesn't just still have the Barbican, has an outpost for some extra vision as well. Chrysler's Castle Age finishes, but their military numbers are tripled at the time Castle Age finishes.
Yeah, he has 5 barracks right now, and he doesn't have boot camp just yet. No boot camp queued, and Valdemar is going up with the clock tower.
You can tell Valdemar he hasn't played a ton of teams, because usually the pick is the good old Imperial Palace with the map hacks that it gives you, but maybe he just says, I don't need it, I want Siege to end this game now. Might start pumping some clock tower trebs for the House of Wisdom later on, but military school or military wing upgrade proves to be ineffective as both camel riders get taken out. Archers starting to get sniped down. The main base of Isanch is burning. It is about to fall. But as I say that, Vils pop out trying to keep it alive. There's no Rams here anymore. Valdemar reaching castle might just feel like it's the end for them.
Yeah, like, I thought this game was over 4 minutes ago. Might possibly be, but it's still going, and they want to fight this out. If you see that, Chrysler also sent Isanch a bunch of resources to rebuild, but he still hasn't gotten the boot camp.
This is one of those, like, that if I'm in, like, Chrysler's position, I'm like, no, we're fine, we got this, keep playing. And if you're Isanch, you're like, can we forfeit now? It's freaking over. Like, let's forfeit. Please let me forfeit.
The only reason this game is still going is because, well, Valdemar and House Horse haven't pushed it to the backline yet and seen this trade.
That is 100% why. The trade is still alive. The trade is still working. But trade doesn't matter when you're down 60 eco. Well, I guess now 40 eco if you include the trade. So it's just all in Chrysler's hands. There's a few men at arms, but remember, Valdemar, he's Castle Age now.
A few men at arms, but Valdemar has 5 archery rangers and he's pumping crossbows.
A couple of the sofa trying to help, but again, just not quite as effective as, you know, these Castle Age units on the other side. Valdemar going with a keep drop, and House Horse is going up to Castle Age as well behind this. Still taking these trades as it seems like Valdemar and Houst decided to try to match castle timings and not produce military, and all of a sudden the military numbers are looking pretty fine for Chrysler and Isanch.
Yeah, they're not looking too bad. Bootcamp just finished, so these guys are now 20% more tanky. But yeah, like, crossbows are here, Mars Tsuginu, and I think the team 2 actually realized that, yeah, maybe it's a good idea to produce some military.
Oh, secondary TC going down for Chrysler as well, and he still has this trade boom. And like, I will say, if you don't take this seriously, if you don't start doing something, the longer this game extends, the better this is for Team GG.
I cannot believe that I did not notice the trade going on.
Yeah, it's pretty appalling to me for sure. Horseman just trying to cause a distraction because this is always that vulnerability. Once both players go up to castle, kind of similar timings, that is a lot of resources that was expended into that, and Isance trying to punish that now with the Sofa in the backside.
Yeah, that tower is not upgraded, so there's five garrison slots, but the other guys have to run. Spears are already here, but it's just causing some idle time, some chaos. Just gonna run around and be annoying.
Horsemen trying to do the same thing too, but not quite as effective as those Sofa are that are basically, I like to call mini knights.
Yeah, they're still feudal age Sofa at this point, and they're not very good. But they do some damage.
So stuff kind of starting to go around all over the map. We're going to see some raiding parties. We're going to see the two main masses, but Chrysor, he's distracted with the Horseman raided home, and Valdemar, he takes this as the perfect timing. Just wipes down, what was that, 10 infantry units probably?
Absolutely brutal.
And the trade has finally been spotted out by House Tours. Finally, after all this time, he spots out the ABBA trade wing. I'm not even sure if... Yeah, they've at least spotted out the base now finally too. Earlier they had the base essentially just completely black, so couldn't even see the trade wing, House of Wisdom, anything of the sort.
Shout out to my devil friends. Maybe scout your opponent's House of Wisdom to see what they're going for.
Hey, I will say when they were practicing yesterday, he did it exceptionally, but they went for more of that Molly aggression. There's some camel archers, not quite as effective as the riders in small numbers, but as you get more and more, they become so dangerous. And as I say more and more, a bunch more start popping on out.
We see the third TC drop for Chrysor behind all of this. He's going super macro.
Yep, and a couple more units thrown on away, but look at the different sides. We see blue pushing up on House. Chrysor is about to go for an all-in on the Mongols, whereas Valdemar, he has his ranged mass. He was about to start pushing up, but looks like he might need to start pulling back, distracted with a couple Sofa in circle around the backside. Chrysor still continuing.
Back for 2 Sofa.
And look at this. House Horse was just doing all Lancers, but the army of Abbasid is perfect to counteract this. He's got his camels. He has spears as well. And Valdemar, he's pulling over to help his teammate. He knows that this is kind of the detrimental point. There's men-at-arms flowing into the base. House does not have enough to deal with what is at the front side. Rams being dropped as well. It is going to be a full all-in on House, and Valdemar pulling back to try to help this push. But this will give at least a little bit of time to Isance to hopefully try to reboom.
I feel like this is a horrible decision by Valdemar. He was about to stop the entire trade, close that, plug that up completely, entirely, and now it's just gonna keep going, and there's gonna be no end to these Abbasid units.
Just imagine, though, if instead of one of these Rams had been a Mangonel, this fight would have been 100% different right now. That being said, I think Chrysor does need to fall back. There's too much mass on the other side. He has a good amount himself, but he does not have team.
Yeah, he cannot fight this alone. He might have to sacrifice some part of his army here and just pull the rest back. He's gonna do some damage with these Rams, leave them just here to be annoying.
I mean, the problem is what you said. He's going to try to throw away some of his army, but there's still Lancers chasing down, and if he tries to kite it all, he takes damage from the Lancers, which then allows the Chukanu and ranged mass to speed up and catch back up. So it was looking like they were starting to stabilize a bit, looking like they were starting to do the correct moves, to doing the correct necessary decisions to get back in this game. But that push could have been the detrimental one. And there's the Mangonel that I talked about that he was needing so desperately.
Yeah, but I feel like Chrysor is not really in danger right here, because have you seen his gold income? He's just gonna buy his resources and remass right there. He just doesn't have a lot of production just yet. He has 5 barracks, he has 5 ranges. He needs some more production buildings.
Mangonel shot, pretty decent first shot, going in for the second one. Lancer's not able to circle around. Decent little split by Valdemar. A couple of the Lancers do get through. Spearman trying to dive through. Mangonel gets taken down, and Chrysor. Oh, Chrysor just doesn't have the mass here available that he needs to hold this push, I don't think. He's gonna have his production stop because they're gonna be right on top of production, and he's not gonna have the reinforcing mass from his teammates that's needed.
Yeah, Chrysor needs more production buildings. I don't know what he's doing.
He's got a lot behind on the backside.
Came in, the sofas are here. These are still fuel age sofas. Isench is fuel age. And yeah, that's just not gonna do a lot.
Oh, Mangonel shot from the backside though, able to get a good connection.
Very nice.
Military numbers getting a little bit closer and closer to even as those Lancers have all of a sudden disappeared, and that was the main, most expensive unit.
Yeah, just gonna mention this on the backside of this. Housed Horse plays triple markets around the neutral market at the top, so yeah. Mongol trade is about to kick off in a moment.
And I think he forgot about trade until he saw trade on the other side and was like, I need to do that myself. But this is also giving an opening in the game as we see the military numbers. They're even. Isanch, I'm not sure if he's back in this game at all. Yeah. 42 economy.
He's just pumping out sofas, but they're fuel age sofas and they kind of suck.
This is where in team games you have to do something to get yourself back in this game. You saw Chrysor. He's on 3 TC and trade now. Give enough for a TC for Isanch and let him get a TC to start booming up some bills himself because he needs numbers. There will be a point. Chrysor's going to get pop cap soon. He's at 166.
And as you say that, Chrysor sent Isanch some food for more sofas, bro.
Trade has been started though for House Tours, and no trade for Isanch either. Like that's where I figured he might have started trade behind this. Never decided to. Chrysor 600 stone. There it is. He finally did it. He listened.
He did it. It's gonna happen. He was also listening to the stream.
Had to have been. Definitely.
There's no other explanation. I cannot believe they are actually possibly gonna pull this game back here.
Look at the military numbers. Voldemort and House, they're not taking this seriously.
Yeah, like they see the fuel age sofas and think to themselves, well, that's easy, but yeah, that's not the problem here. This Abbasid army is massive.
Not only that, Isanch actually has a good cavalry mass. It's 20, 25, 30 units or so of these Sofa Warrior Scouts that he just needs them to soak damage. He just needs them to be bodies there for him. And, you know, that's exactly what they are doing.
They're just being annoying, and also keep in mind that it doesn't matter what age your unit is in. They're all going to do the same torch damage.
Yeah, speaking of, Uvu's starting to get denied. No more double production coming in for Housed. Mangonel's starting to take down additional production, and this seemed like it was all but game over earlier, and now the eco numbers, yes, they're in the favor of Valdemar House, but the military mass is taking it to the other side.
Yeah, House Horse is dropping more barracks in the back of his base right now. Panicked, dropping more production, and
sent a few of those cavalry units around to the backside, tried to get to those Mangonels, but units, by the time they got there, got taken out by the ranged mass. All Isanch is doing is burning production, doesn't want House to be able to remass back up, doesn't want any more Mongol production coming out, because then it becomes a one-on-one between Abbasid and Chinese, and he knows how strong his Abbasid is. Secondary TC starting to be focused by Isanch as well. Housed Horse is getting his eco crush. He's up at 102. Where's the military, though? He needs to be able to mass some military. He's stuck, not able to grab the food, not able to grab all the sheep around his town center. Valdemar streaming in units, but are the units going to be streamed in fast enough?
He needs to mass up. Like, if Chrysor gets on top of this rally point, then that's gonna be a real issue here. I mean, he got the pagodas, but look what Chrysor is doing behind all of this. He's just dropping Imperial casually.
Yep. Imperial Age Economy Wing. Gur is going to go ahead and teleport these 22 sheep somewhere that is going to be able to be utilized for House Horse to gather these. Ram being dropped under Town Center fire. Chrysler doesn't have a care in the world. He's probably just stuck at max population essentially over there, and we already see House. He's down at 88 now. It's continuing to fall. It's the 2v1 dive on top of him, and they were not ready.
Yeah, Valdemar just has too much eco. Let's quickly check. He's on 111 villagers. He needs to get on more military.
He's got 56. It just feels like it's nowhere to be signed. Like, there's a lot of units, but where are they? They haven't been where they need to be. Isance just keeping low, keeping in feudal. He's got a significant amount of gold. He is on that triple TC now, so his eco will be starting to climb back up as he's up at 95. They have the numbers now.
Isance is just mass-producing warrior scouts and nothing else right now.
They fully have the numbers now. Like, the eco is dead even if you include the trade, basically. And the military mass has not been able to be stopped. Mangonel's moving forward again. This might be a little too far forward this time. Chrysler at 1,500 to Isance. Farimba Garrison starting to go down as well. Outpost being dropped on top of that TC. TC was not pulled back. Villagers are pulled back, but the main TC is just going to be given up, it seems like. TC goes down.
House Horse is still sitting at 90 villagers right now. Only 5 of them idle, but his trade is still included in here. It's still dropping off, but now there's a warrior scout mass in between.
Valdemar trying to drop a keep, trying to move forward to maybe help sustain this spot, put a defensive structure here to help, but there's only a few vills there to actually start this, and more reinforcements coming in for Chrysler. Numbers looking a little bit more even on the military. This is turning out to be a barn burner, absolutely wild game, but triple Rams are on the keep. There's only 3 vills there. Keep goes down.
Oh, that's a nice snipe here. And behind all of this, the Imperial upgrades for Chrysler are coming through now. Elite Men-at-Arms are through, Elite Archers are coming in. And he's also getting the Mango upgrade, so he's gonna plan to drop some more of these.
We saw Valdemar sending some wood over to House. That's either going to be for another TC or for some additional stables since he had, or some additional pastures since he had to lose all of his over here in this location. A bombarded placement on the outpost here.
Oh my god.
This is going to be so much damage that this is going to cause now.
Like, this position is gone. Like, House Horse cannot come back into his own base. He should just back up and leave. There's no way he can contest it.
A couple vills tried to circle around to outpost the trade site, but there's a TC there. There was vision there, and Isance quickly reacts with his scout mass.
By the way, Isance now on Triple Town Center. I love it. Valdemar's just floating and floating and floating. He has some mass established here, but it's under that cannon tower, as you said.
Oof, this is not looking good for the DEBILS squad by any means. After it looked like it was all but GG earlier on, Isance has found another bit of units in the backside, able to start taking those down.
Isance just spending all of his resources to 0. He's sitting on 51 warrior scouts.
Hey, that's exactly what you need to do. Just continue to utilize all these resources. The question is how are Valdemar and House going to be able to hold this? They need to do something to the eco on the other side. They need to do something to be able to sustain this fight, but have not been able to do so yet.
Yeah, I mean, Imperial trade upgrade came through. This is now dropping up 181 gold and 45 food. Yeah, there's just no stopping this. It's never gonna end, and you don't have trade yourself.
They're trying to build, Valdemar trying to burn those forward siege workshops. Chrysor is kind of trickling units at this point. He needs to like remass back up that ball, but there is some other raiding going on elsewhere with the Sofa and Warrior Scout mass that his partner has. And also those Sofa and Warrior Scouts, those are veteran now, so a lot stronger than they once were in that time ago. And finally, Valdemar matching Imperial Age of the Abbasid.
Oh my god, look at Iceenge and his Warrior Scouts. He's just gonna run into Valdemar's base and see what he finds.
Doesn't have a market to be able to drop it. Oh, definitely circle around for the farming eco, but where is House going to try to trade to? He doesn't have any target market for himself anymore. Scout's just gonna go do a quick burn on this outpost. Villagers have to run and hide, and other scouts, other Sofa circling around the backside. This allows Chrysor to push back forward and turn this right back around, even though he was just getting pushed in a second ago.
Good thing for Valdemar, he still has quite a food bank right now, hitting Imperial Age now. But if he's gonna be idled repeatedly here, it's, well, over.
Yep. Speaking of, we see Chrysor hand cannoneers starting to be massed up. All of this old location that used to be House's base is gone. He is having to reboom up near where Valdemar is, dropping stables or pastures behind it, dropping production behind it, I'm sure in a second, sending Vills up to the front lines now. He's just kind of all over this map, trying to gather resources anywhere he can. But the problem, your opponent has so much vision with all these Warrior Scouts that are constantly running all across the map. Oh, and there it is. Another wood line starting to be taken down. There's pings all over the map for these players, so it's not easy to quickly react to these raids that start coming in.
Yeah, if you check the vision for Valdemar and House Horse right now, they're basically sitting in their base, watching the Warrior Scouts get rid of the last few houses and the buildings that are on the other side, and outside of that, they see nothing.
And Valdemar's house right now, he's down to 160. 170 now, back up. He's trying to build some more houses. He's got pagodas behind this with 3 relics inside, so that's super nice for the Chinese eco. But you have a military mass at your front.
It's also open. Like, Iceenge can just run his Warrior Scouts in the back, idle everything whenever he chooses to.
And the hand cannoneers, the archer. Oh, Nest of Bees has popped out. Didn't see Chrysor react to it. Don't know if he has spotted it out yet, as his ranged mass is actually going to get fully taken out maybe by this Nest of Bees fire. Chrysor just sent Imperial Age to Iceenge though.
Yeah.
Literally Imperial Age.
Look at that green blob on the map moving.
Donna, Riders of Rohan.
Where was Malia when China fell?
This is where they are. They are here. They are ready, and they are ready to take down the rest of the base. Such cheap units. They have super effective, torch damage, as just like any other of those melee units are. Circle around, able to take down that Nest of Bees that was so scary earlier on I was talking about. And even has some archers of his own that he was able to mass up. No poison arrows yet that I see, I don't think.
I don't know. Would it show?
Yeah, you can see the purple glow of them usually.
Yeah, but when they attack a ram?
I think the arrows still kind of glow. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a while. We'll see. But Imperial Age comes out for Iceenge. In the meantime, House, he's trading up to this northern side. He's getting 125 a pop. Not really some bad trade for himself, as this is the spot of the map that has gone unnoticed by the GG team.
125 better than 0, definitely, but let's see if they can make anything out of this. Chrysor is establishing a forward base because his reinforcement lines are just too big, too long, but Valdemar is right on top of that right now.
Look at the resources in the bank. House Horse, he has enough to go up to Imperial now. I think he wants to match that Imperial, and that is exactly what he is doing. He is dropping the Cognate Palace. So we might see double Chinese units.
It's just so memey when you suddenly think, wow, I have 15 warrior scouts. Why? And not warrior scouts, warrior monks.
And Valdemar is starting the palace guard spam. This is so effective as they have that extra movement speed. They can really start to split, get on the eco, get onto their targets that they want to hit. But they need to take efficient fights. The archers on the backside, they do have those poison arrows now. As you can see, the purple, yeah, they do shoot those little purple arrows. You can see them in the air. And just should be able to effectively take this down as well, with Culverins easily being able to win the siege war for them as well with the Abbasid unit.
Yeah, the Culverins are gonna nip those nest of bees in the bud, unless Valdemar can get on top of them with these men-at-arms. He's basically just spamming out palace guards at this point and hoping that the HP is gonna deliver them until House Horse can get back into this game.
Yeah, it looks like this smaller mass finally got cleared up. There is another reinforcing mass that is there. Even some Chuka news that with the Spirit Way will provide some healing when they die. But again, the numbers now tilting heavier and heavier in the favor of GG. Proxy production did get denied, but still, it's about a quarter of the map for Valdemar and Housed, and the rest of the map for GG.
I wonder if we're gonna get to the point where Chrysor is just gonna replace all of his villagers with trade, because that's gonna be more effective, or if the game's just gonna end earlier.
If I were a betting man, I would say the game's going to end earlier, as, you know, when it's just 40 units, it's not that hard to remass back up, but when you're talking about 100 military difference now and could potentially keep climbing, that is where it really gets harder and harder and harder. But it could, you know, we saw the position Chrysor and Ice Age were in earlier. We thought there was no comeback way for them either, and we're able to hold, we're able to give themselves an opportunity back in this.
Yeah, we see the elite archer upgrade is through now, and we've got 75 archers now for Ice Age on the field with that poison arrow upgrade.
And the gunners even leading the way up front, so those Musafati gunners are nothing to be taken lightly. Some palace guards trying to take down some reinforcing units, but not really going to be too much. Nothing compared to this ball that we see on the front line. The only thing that could do damage to this would be like 4 or 5 nests of bees, like all together.
Yeah, I think I did the math. Yeah, there it is. So my math says that you need 16 archers to kill a man-at-arms armor chat in one volley, and there is now 80 on the map.
Culverin makes quick work of that nest of bees, and the military numbers are about to be tripled here in just a little bit, as this front mass of Valdemar, the front mass of House, looks like it is being cleared up. Palace guards running back home, running back to their base, and more rams being dropped by Chrysor, sending another 1,600 food over to Ice Age too. Just all the resources in the world. I feel like he sent Ice Age 10,000 resources minimum this game.
Yeah, at this point might as well be. Maybe we can see it in the statistics. I've never actually checked.
I have not either, but main TC of Valdemar starting to get taken down. Barbican starting to be taken down as well, and I don't know if the game will last too much longer after that, as the eco is the last thing behind this.
Yeah, this what a wild game. Wow. Like, Valdemar's just trying to stem the tide, but it's just not going to be possible. There's 157 units against 59.
More rams moving forward. Ram number up to 5, and those rams aren't 6. Sorry, those rams aren't easy to be dealt with either, as you need a lot of torches, you need a lot of damage. But whoa! All of a sudden, these palace guards doing a good job cleaning up, and Ice Age's reinforcements have not arrived. All of the numbers, they're not there together, and this is why you saw Chrysor trying to drop this proxy production. He needs the numbers there faster.
We're caster cursing this game. Every time we say the game is over, it's gonna be turned around on his head.
No, I mean, they're still double in the military. They're still doing, you know, okay, but House is stabilized, if you haven't noticed. There is that huge line of trade on that northwestern side. It might not be the best trade, but it is trade nonetheless.
It's 110 economy for House Horse. It's something. He's only sitting on 36 military right now, so that needs some upgrade.
Ooh, this mass, though, from Isanch, it is just... I mean, if you look at the overall population numbers, it's, you know, 200 basically for the GG team, and the Devils, House Taurus, and Valdemar, they're each at like 150 to 180 consistently. Just down a few of these units, and once the reinforcements start being there quicker and more forward, that's when it becomes so much tougher for them.
But look at this fight. Like, the Team 1 actually has to pull back again. There's gunners on both sides now. We don't actually see much siege, except for these 6 rams going ham in the Chinese base. But now they're also pulling back.
Yeah, the key here, though, is, again, that those reinforcing masses are about to get together. There's, you know, 10, 20, 30 more units for Isanch joining the fight right now. Same thing for Chrysler.
Look at the military numbers. It's now 100 against 74. Like,
and Caster Curse is back and forth.
That much closer.
And all of a sudden, Valdemar and House, they're holding yet again.
What the hell is going on here?
I am so confused about this game. Every single time I think it's about to end, someone oversteps, someone doesn't quite make just the correct decision, and it allows just a foothold for their opponent back in this game. Hand Cannoneers is just going to be the main choice out of all of these armies, and we know who has the best ones. It's China.
Yeah, Chinese hand cannons, of course, the best ones with the extra range upgrade. If he's gonna build some stone walls as well, that would be huge. Yeah, look at the military numbers. Team 2 now actually has more military. Let's go.
More military indeed. And remember, Mali, they're not quite as effective when they get to Imp, especially when they don't have any trade, especially when they don't have that massive gold income, which they haven't traded at all.
Yeah, I mean, he has the Abbasid trade in the back line to finance them both at this point. With the trade, with all of his upgrades.
They're just continuing to trickle units now. It's just units that are going on forward and just immediately getting taken down.
That's the main issue here right now. Every single unit they reproduce, it's just gonna immediately get taken down. And if you look at the eco numbers, 228 for Team 2, they're also at advantage over there.
Yeah. It's absolutely wild. The trade is more efficient for Team 1, but the resources in the bank, Chrysler has them all. He's got 7k gold, but he needs to turn that into military. He needs to be able to hold this on up.
Like, Team 2's army is just that much more quality right now. Like, that's all hand cannons here. And Isanch is still flooding warrior scouts, putting in some men-at-arms, putting in some Did I say men-at-arms? I meant Musafaris. Anyway.
And look at this. Look how the tides have turned. Housed, sending gold to Valdemar after all the damage he got taken earlier. The trade is kicked in. The trade is online. And now, is it circling back to where we think it's GG for Team GG? It's over?
It's still a bit up in the air. I mean, military numbers are double right now. But like the thing that is confusing to me is, I mean, look at how fragile that blue trade is. Like there's a wooden wall on the left side, and then there's the markets right there. There's nothing protecting that.
And this is one. Oh, Hui Pao is into the mix. We're gonna see siege. We're gonna see a forward keep drop from Valdemar. They're retaking this map control, and look at how close. Oh no.
Isanch is burning the trade.
Yep, no, Isanch is denied trade. This actually turns everything upside down again. That was the key they needed. The trade's denied. But at the same time, it is not, because House has rebuilt markets on the east, and this is going to be a full-length trade now.
Yeah, and Valdemar's dropping his first keep inside the Mali base, or rather at the edge of the Malian base.
There's no more gold.
Position.
There's no more gold. On the side, Valdemar has no more gold. He's going where Isanch just dropped all those outposts.
Yeah, he needs to capture basically that gold on the right side. There's still a big gold vein and a small one.
Valdemar, though, streaming in the Palace Guard, streaming in those hand cannoneers to the base of Isanch again. But on the west side, The outposts have done so much for Isanch as far as vision goes, as far as what they can see now. Woodline's even getting thin as well.
This game is wild. Is there a chop food? No, let's see that.
Chrysor trying to go up, trying to get these units to hold and split where Housed is, split where Valdemar is. Valdemar does have that keep up though, and he is starting to spam more and more keeps once to get into the trade, and that's exactly where his palace guards are. There's a group in the backside, a group on the trade, just taking down everything in their path. And even though House got his trade denied for a second, he immediately got it reset back up on the east. He was already prepped and ready for it. Right now, Chrysor doesn't have an alternative.
Chrysler is in trouble here, and he's floating 8,000 gold, so he can survive this for some time, but not very long. Look at that pink line on the
Watch it how much
right
gold
side.
this is that's about to come in. Let me switch over to... No, my hotkeys. There we go. Just look at all this... Just so many resources.
2,000, 3,000.
I mean, that's just absurd how much.
4,000.
And Vald
Yeah,
is
trade
pushing
team.
forward through. They have finally secured up map control with these outposts. They have the siege, and they have stopped Chrysor's trade, which was the huge and crucial crux of what was going on earlier. It's 55 traders compared to 19. Valdemar, you can tell, is wanting to drop another keep, maybe wants to get through to the trade, but palace guards are still here. Palace guards are still not dealt with.
He's just dropping another keep right there, but the ram is on top of it. But is it an Imperial ram yet? Is it? Does it have the upgrade? I guess. Yeah, it does have. But it's still not enough damage to get that keep down before it goes up.
Not nearly enough, and Valdemar just continuing to drop keeps, continuing to flood these units in, and Chrysor and Isanch don't look like they are able to hold here.
I cannot believe they pulled this game back.
I mean, so back and forth. There was a time where we thought it was so easy for Valdemar and House. Then there was a time we thought it was so easy for Chrysor and Isanch, and now it's back
And
on the
now
other
we're
foot.
going to call that this game is about to end, and then it's going to be turned up on his head again.
No, this is going to be it, I think. I don't know how PG is going to be able to hold with their trade that got hurt so bad, and Valdemar knows about the trade. He's just going to continue to use this line where his keeps are and push through and just bust a hole into the eco. Bust a hole into the back line. Another keep drop and another keep drop and just moving further and further out on this map.
Valdemar would make a great deli maid.
Mangonel's being sniped out by hand cannoneers. More palace guards. They've broken through. House horse circling around the backside, and this seems like the last
Horse
kind
is
of.
going into the trade again. He's also going to find these villagers here on the wood line.
And this is the last line of military for Chrysor. This is the last hurrah. He's not going to be able to remass back up easy because we have seen the resources in the bank now. He's under 1,000 food, and with all of this idle time, he's going to get crushed. House, like you said, denying the trade in the west, but the main military of House and Valdemar are just dead onto the eco that was built forward. Yep, and on the backside, Isanch having to pull those vills back. Traders all going down as well. And I mean, this is not looking like there's much time left as the total population count, 200 for House. We just heard a forfeit. It's over. Chrysor, he threw in the towel. What a wild, wild back and forth of a game.